Welcome to the Healing While Discovering Yourself podcast. I'm your host, Andrea Michelle. I'm an intuitive transformational coach, certified life coach, certified NLP practitioner, and speaker. I've spent the last 22 plus years helping myself and my clients learn how to create their own happiness and live more abundant lives. In this time, I've also overcome and healed from child sexual molestation, a compulsive eating disorder, hunger, and homelessness. Now it's your turn to move forward with your life and heal from childhood traumas or past experiences. In this podcast, I'll share how I was able to overcome all of my past struggles, as well as my personal stories of overcoming jealousy, loneliness, resentment, and bitterness, and how I learned to forgive. I'll also help you explore your shadow self, deal with having low or no self-esteem, and address feelings of not being worthy or loved. Using my personal experiences and extensive training, as well as stories of grief, loss, depression, and anxiety from my guests, I'll help you change your life and finally heal. Hey, loves. Welcome back to the Healing While Discovering Yourself podcast. And if you are new here, welcome. I am so glad you decided to hit play. I'm so glad you decided to listen. And if you're watching this on my YouTube channel, I'm so glad you decided to watch this. It is my absolute honor, joy, privilege, and pleasure to be able to come before you and just share some of my experiences with you and offer tips and advice and solutions to how you can heal yourself while still moving forward. And not just heal yourself, but do it in a way that is in integrity for you and doesn't leave you feeling, awkward or weird I actually don't think there's anything wrong with being weird. My daughter tells me I'm weird all the time. And every time she says it, I'm like, I know. And actually, as a matter of fact, even at the beginning of this school semester, all of the kids were virtual. And so we decided to do a group pod where the kids kind of rotated from house to house for virtual schooling. And so two of the little girls one was 6 and one was 7. And they would tell me all the time, like, Miss Andrea, you're weird. And I'd be like, I know. So I've just learned on the healing and self-discovery journey to just embrace all of who you are. So I embrace my weirdness. So I don't think that, people calling you weird is like a bad thing. I'm like, embrace it. If it's who you are, it's who you are. So, but that being said, though, it is my hope that this podcast will be a safe space and a safe place for people to come. And not that you need anyone else to validate you or give you permission, but it is my hope that this podcast does validate you, and it does give you permission, so that when you hear my stories and the stories of my guests, that you're like, oh my gosh, I can so relate to this and I can so relate to that. Or I thought that, this only happened to me. I didn't realize that it happened to other people, blah, 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 all of those things. It is my hope that as you listen to this podcast, that you learn more about yourself and then also continue on your healing and self-discovery journey. And speaking of continuing on your journey, today's podcast episode is all about your way forward on the healing journey. And what I want to make abundantly clear right now, if I have not made it clear on the other 32 podcast episodes that I've recorded up to this point, is that you are 100% capable of moving forward with your life exactly as you are right now. Okay, let me say that again. You are 100% capable of moving forward with your life exactly as you are right now. And the reason why you're 100% capable is because you have been equipped with everything that you need to live your life according to your life's purpose. There is absolutely nothing else that needs to be added to your life in order for you to have the healing that it is that you seek, right? Whatever it is that you have faced and whatever it is you may be experiencing right now, you already have everything you need. You know, I often say that this life in this physical form and in this physical body is so that you can experience what you already know to be true. Because make no mistake about it, before you were even born in this physical body, even as a baby, you already had the knowing, the full extent of knowing. You already have that. Knowledge is, right? Like we often say, like, gaining knowledge. The truth about gaining knowledge is that there is nothing to be gained because knowledge already is, just like truth is, knowledge is. And so it is already there. You came to have this experience in this physical body to experience the knowing, right? For those of you who are Christians, followers of Christ, then you know that Jesus, or you believe that Jesus was born, but even when Jesus was a baby, Jesus was God. He didn't start walking and crawling and preaching and all of that, and then he became God, did he? No, he was already God, and he had everything that he needed in him to fulfill his destiny. Nothing was given to Jesus partway on his journey, right? He was already God. The same thing with Buddha, right? Buddha already had the knowing. He just needed to go and experience the knowing. And that's why when certain things happen to us and people are like speaking over our lives or pouring into us or whatever, and when people say things, we get emotional. You know, the reason why we get emotional is because our highest self acknowledges the truth in their statement. Our highest self acknowledges that, yes, what this person is saying is true. And on a deeper level, also a higher level, I also agree with these things. But part of the problem is that our trauma and or our unpleasant experiences, they taint our lens. And so we can't necessarily see things clearly because our lens is tinted or tainted, right? But you have everything that you need to move forward. And sometimes I know that this is true for me. And I just believe that if something is true for me universally, then it's true for other people universally. Not my personal truth, right? Because there's a difference. I've talked about that before, personal truth and universal truth. But it's my fundamental belief that when something is a universal truth, then it's true for everybody. And so what I have found to be a universal truth is that at some point, all of us wear tainted glasses, right? And because of the tainted glasses that we wear, it distorts, if you will, and maybe distort is not the right word in this context, but I can't think of the word that I want to say is not coming to me, but it distorts our view of things, right? And our perception of things are a little off. And so because of the fact that we were seeing things through tainted lenses, we need to be surrounded by people who can, number one, call out the fact in a safe and secure environment, call out the fact that, hey, part of the reason why you see things this way is because you're wearing tainted glasses, right? And do it in a way that is sensitive enough that it acknowledges our trauma, which is the work that I do as a trauma sensitive coach. Because there are some coaches out there who are not trauma sensitive and they believe in thought work, right? Thoughts create things and da da da. And while I believe that, we also have to acknowledge that if you have a brain that has experienced trauma, because we know that trauma changes the brain. And so if your brain has experienced trauma, then your brain is going all haywire. And if your brain is going all haywire, guess what else is haywire? Your thoughts. And when you are in a moment of being triggered, there's no such thing as a rational thought, because being triggered truly means that there is a breakdown physically, mentally, and emotionally. Now, I'm not talking about being triggered like we like to say it these days, like, oh, trigger warning. And then when you read the post, or at least when I read the post, I'm like, what was triggering about that? All you said was, you tried some food and it was disgusting and you almost threw up. Like, I mean, if you're not talking about it in the context of, like, let's say having an eating disorder, right? To talk about having an eating disorder. Okay, that is cause for a trigger warning. Or like when I share of my childhood abuse, like that is cause for a trigger warning, but we got to stop using trigger warning just to get people's attention and to get them to like and click on our post. Like that's so overrated. But like I was saying about thought work, when you have someone who is truly triggered, there's no such thing. You can't talk them down. You can't coach them out of it, right? You have to allow time to pass and you have to let them come out of that on their own, right? And so my point is that you are 100% capable of moving forward, but because of the tainted lens that you're wearing, it is often necessary for us to surround ourselves with people, connect with people like myself, who is a trauma sensitive coach, to help you see or acknowledge, like, and it's not even just even seeing, doing the work, it's just helping you or holding the space for you to acknowledge, like, wait a minute, I am wearing tainted glasses, right? And so that means that everything that I see in this moment may be distorted. And it's not for me as a coach to tell you, oh, what you're seeing is distorted, right? You need to come to that realization for yourself. And so I may, as a coach, say something like, what lens are you viewing this situation through? Right? And then you answer that question, because I believe, again, that all of us have the answer, the knowing is already there. Then you realize, like, wait a minute, I am analyzing this situation through the lens of my absent father, right? And so that changes everything for you. And then when you realize, like, wait a minute, I was viewing this through the lens of my absent father. In this situation, there are no absent fathers involved. So, maybe my perception is a little bit off, right? As a coach, it's my job to only just kind of like guide you, if you will. If you were in a forest, right? Think of the coach like you're in the forest and, you come across some trails and you get kind of lost. And then you have the forest ranger to come in and say, oh, okay, you can go this way or you can go that way. And it'll guide you right back to the path, right? The ranger is not telling you, you have to go this way unless there really truly is one way in and one way out, right? But if you're in open forest, like, is there really ever such thing as one way in and one way out? I don't think so, right? So the forest ranger will make recommendations and say, hey, you can go left, and then it'll be about, 2 miles, or you can go right and it'll be about 2.3 miles. They're not making the decision for you, right? And so as a coach, I don't make any decisions for my clients. I just kind of guide them. So again, you're 100% capable, but sometimes you will need a guide to help you to acknowledge that, wait a minute. Yeah, I'm wearing tainted glasses, right? And so my perception may be a little off. And so as you think about your way forward on your healing and self-discovery journey, I really want you to consider investing in a coach or a therapist or a counselor. There is nothing weak about investing in someone to help you along on your journey. As a coach myself, who I am in the process of getting my doctoral degree in developmental psychology, so you'll be calling me Dr. Andrea Michelle shortly. I am always investing in coaches. And I am more than sure that once I begin this path or get further along in my journey, my doctoral journey, I will probably, if I'm feeling like it, invest in a therapist myself. And the reason why I'm not too sure about it is because, yes, I'm going back for my PhD in psychology. However, I don't have any intentions on being a clinical psychologist. And the reason why I'm going back for my PhD, even though I don't plan on being a clinical psychologist, is because I fundamentally believe that just because you have experienced trauma, it doesn't make you qualified to help people heal from trauma. I am also of the fundamental belief that just because you have gone to school and you have your PsyD or PhD or whatever in psychology, that you also are qualified to help people heal from their trauma. I know that I am qualified even without my PhD because of my experience, because I've gotten the necessary training. I have multiple certifications that focus on coaching and currently working on my certification to be a trauma sensitive coach. But I know that I'm qualified in and of itself, and my clients' testimonials, the changes that my clients experience is what qualifies me as to help people to hold the space for high achieving men and women to heal while they're still moving forward. So your way forward, it really truly is to really invest in help, right? And if you're listening to this particular podcast, if you're listening to me, if you're following me on my social channels, then I know that the people who reach out to me for help are the people who have listened to all of the podcasts, have read all of the blogs, have watched all of the YouTube videos, some have invested in other coaches before and have not gotten to the root of their problem. And the reason why that may be, or some of them have gotten to the root of their problem, but because they were dealing with an unqualified coach and even unqualified therapist in trauma, they were re-traumatized, right? And so in some cases, they feel worse off than they were before they started their journey. So these are the people that I know that I attract to me with my message and with my energy. And so if you're listening to this podcast, I know that you've done all of the things, right? And some of you have even invested before, and you still don't feel like you're any closer to your healing. And the reason why you feel that way is because you haven't gotten to the root. And for most of us, myself included, when we find ourselves stuck in cycles, it is because the root of that is some traumatic experience. And we have not dealt with the trauma itself. And that's really what it is, right? And so I just want you to know that I do have a very powerful healing membership. Our focus is on healing. That is exactly what we do. And if you've been following me, you know we like to have fun because your girl, I like to have fun. I actually think I'm like a comedian low key. But maybe the other, comedian scouts, they may not think so, but I think I'm pretty funny. So not only are we healing, but we're doing it in the way that works for us as individuals. And there's a wide range of people in the membership healing from a wide range of issues because we're all individuals. And so if you know that you are ready to move forward while you're healing, then go to healinginthe.shadow.com. Again, that's healing in the shadow, not shadows, shadow.com. And we call it hits. Those of us in the healing in the shadow community, we call it hits. Oh, I'm in hits. Or did you go in hits? Or post this in hits? Because it's healing in the shadow, right? Again, so if you're ready to move forward on your healing journey, which I know that you are, because you wouldn't be listening to this specific episode, you can go to healinginthe.shadow.com. And it's not open. Currently, it's not, the registration enrollment is not open, but you can go there and get on the wait list. When you get on the wait list, then you will be notified when HITS opens up again. Okay. So if you found this episode helpful, I would love for you to share it with someone who you think can benefit from it. I would love you even more. Well, I don't think I can love you even more because I just like love you, and love is right. But I would appreciate it. I like that better. I would appreciate if you would just go right on over to iTunes and give me a 5-star rating and make sure you leave a review. Okay. How does that sound to y'all? I told y'all I'm a comedian. Y'all like my voice switch over? Oh, I'm being silly now. Anyway, but I'm serious. I would love for you to go on iTunes, rate it, leave it a 5-star review. I mean, only if you feel that way. If it's not 5-star, please don't leave it 5 stars. I don't want any like fake energy around me. So if you're not feeling it, then you're not feeling it. And I'm okay with that. But again, I would love to go on the journey of moving forward with you. And if you know that you're ready to do that, go to healinginthe.shadow.com to get on the wait list for my extremely, very powerful Healing in the Shadow membership, where we, again, this is a safe space for you to heal while still moving forward. And then also do it in the way that works for you, because everybody is different. And that this is not a one size fits all membership. This is a one size, whatever works for you membership. And I promise you, you will get results. All right. So as I go, just know that the love in me salutes the love in you. Hey loves, are you looking for a safe place to hang out while you're healing with other like-minded individuals? If so, then I would love for you to join my private Facebook community called Healing While Discovering Yourself, named after the podcast. This community is for those who are truly seeking a safe place to heal and also show up authentically. If this interests you, then I'm going to invite you to go to Facebook/groups/healing while discovering. I look forward to seeing you in the group. Tony Robbins said, "The quality of your life is a direct reflection of the quality of the questions you're asking yourself." And that's why I'm inviting you to download my free guide called 5 Powerful Questions to Ask Yourself to help you take back control of your life. In this guide, you will learn how to shift your mood, break negative thought patterns, and identify beliefs and stories so that you can explore the truthfulness of these stories.
Go to andreamichelle.com/powerful to download this free guide today.